It's definitely not my thumb. I'll tell you that, and I'll stand by that. My thumb is perfectly fine. I think there's just ups and downs of the flows of the game, and I'm a human. I'm not perfect, So there's good times, there's bad times, and not to say it's bad. I don't really think it's that bad. Like I'm not seeing the field. It's not like crucial. It's okay. I think it's not just like I don't know what I'm looking at. So I don't want to put that perspective out there. I'm still confident in what I'm looking at, and there's just a couple that I missed. And that happens. It just happened to be at bad times. That's all it was.
Well, there you go. It is not John Mateer's thumb. He wants to make that very, very clear, and did. Parker Thune alongside Brandon Drum for another OU Insider post-practice blitz. And John Mateer just keeps fielding questions about his thumb, Brandon. It's somewhat understandable because he hasn't looked the same since the surgery, but I think at this point, you ought to understand you're going to get the same answer from John Mateer, which is no, my level of play has nothing to do with my thumb. It has everything to do with me not seeing the things I'm supposed to see, and I just have to play better and execute better.
That's too simple of an answer. Honestly, it really is. Like, it's so simplistic and so just ground level of an answer, even though it's the truth, that fans, media alike, can't wrap their head around it. I can say I'm guilty of that a little bit because I believe that it's not the thumb now. Now, I can't agree that it wasn't the thumb against Texas because he didn't try to stretch the field in that game. Um, you could tell there was lack of confidence of what he could do, throwing the ball deep a little bit and controlling it, because your thumb controls a lot, controls everything, essentially, outside of the spin of the ball off your two fingers right here, because it's like literally like flicking a booger when you're throwing it. And so,
That's an
um,
interesting way to put it.
I mean, it straight up is. Ask any quarterback that's
Licking a
literally a
booger.
quarterback coach, they will say it's like flicking a booger because you spin your hand outside to throw it. But it's just, I don't know, man. Like, nobody can really grasp that. Like, now it's his eyes,
Unintended.
pun intended. Like, they can't grasp the fact that he's now a month out. He's now exactly where he was supposed to be to come back. And he's fine. He was fine Saturday. I do wonder if there's still, it may not be the thumb, but I do think confidence when he runs the ball, um, you know, not using that thumb to protect him, shield it, kind of like stiff arming and stuff like that. I don't know that there's that type of confidence in him right now.
Uh,
And
uh, Obviously, he's been
good.
missing some throws here and there, no question.
Yeah,
But
for
he's also
sure.
seemed more tentative as a runner, which we talked about in the Under the
Mhm.
Visor post-game podcast following that loss to Ole Miss as well. It seems like a lot of the zeal has been taken out of his game. Now, despite that, John Mateer did say yesterday that he is still having fun playing football and trying to find the fun, continuing to find the fun even amidst the struggles.
Just there's an opportunity. I think that's all you can dream for as a man and as a football player. Just the opportunity to bounce back and to play. I mean, even with the loss, like it's fun to play football. It's fun to be in the stand or be with the fans in this atmosphere. It's still fun. And I reminded myself of that yesterday. Like it's still fun. And it's still a great opportunity. I'm blessed to be here. So.
Obviously, Brandon, what is most fun? Winning.
For sure.
And that's what the Sooners are going to be tasked with doing this weekend when they go to Neyland Stadium. And so much of the Sooners' ability to go on the road and get a road victory for the second straight outing. Obviously, they won on the road against South Carolina, came back home, lost to Ole Miss. They have the chance for a second straight road win in Knoxville, Tennessee. And that defense is very gettable. That is a vulnerable Tennessee defense. But so much of Oklahoma's ability to go and win this game is going to hinge, quite simply, on how John Mateer plays, because he's going to have to play better than he has to this point since returning from that surgery in order to get the Sooners over the top, because that Tennessee offense will score points.
Well, doesn't everything you just said sound like Ole Miss? Everything you just said sounds exactly like Ole Miss. All that defense. They struggle to stop this, that, and the other. They give up points. I mean, hell, Arkansas, I think, put up 34, 38 or something like points on them as well, right? They put up a lot of points. Oklahoma did not. Oklahoma choked the ball away. It wasn't interceptions with John Mateer. So the crazy part about Saturday wasn't the interceptions. He didn't throw the ball into triple coverage like he had against Texas, right? He's been a good game manager, just like he was against South Carolina. Just didn't make the throws, the simple throws that needed to be made. And when you can't do that, you can't beat easy defenses. When you're giving them chances to make stops because you're not completing passes or being accurate with your throws, or even running the ball with some pizzazz, I just don't know that you can beat Tennessee on the road. That's going to be the biggest hurdle because defense travels. OU's defense is going to get stops that Tennessee fans aren't used to seeing. They're going to make plays that Tennessee fans aren't used to seeing on the defensive side of the ball against their team, against their offense. Can the offense capitalize on that? And if you can't at Neyland Stadium at night with that atmosphere, you're not going to win. And so that's the biggest question mark, I think, for this. And then obviously not turning the ball over, stupid mistakes, holding penalties on big plays, fumbles on punt returns. All those good things have to go away as well.
I think the one guy that might be most emblematic of the mindset this team needs to adopt and has to adopt if they want to keep this season on track down the stretch with a very, very tough 4-game kick to close the year. That guy would be Cortland Guillory, Brandon, a true freshman who's emerged as a starter for Oklahoma. Hasn't started every game, but has been a regular in the lineup, certainly been a regular in the cornerback rotation, regardless of whether he's earned the official designation as a starter for any given game or not. And what makes this guy so much fun, and I think what's enabled him to be so successful early in his collegiate career and get on the field as early as he has in a place like Oklahoma, is, man, he's very secure in who he is as a football player. He's got a swagger about him. He's got a confidence about him that can't really be compromised. And he is not immune to a bad performance. He had one against Auburn. Kind of got exposed in that game. It was his very first taste of SEC competition. He got to guard Cam Coleman. Didn't have a great time with it. But as Guillory told us last night, he took a lot of lessons from that Auburn game, and he hasn't allowed it to affect his mentality moving forward beyond that.
I definitely watch the tape a lot, and I hate watching that tape and I hate watching that game. But, you learn a lot. And like I said, I learned from that, lessons learned for sure. First SEC game, what I can and can't put on tape, So I would say I watch it, but I don't like watching it because, it puts something inside of me. I hate the way that I played that game, but I'm just happy that moving forward, I'm just going to do better.
If we rewind to the South Carolina game, Brandon, the Sooners were fresh off a very disappointing, very demoralizing rivalry series loss to Texas at the Cotton Bowl. They had every reason to be down on themselves. They had every reason to come out sluggish, and they did not. They pummeled the Gamecocks, a talented Gamecocks team in their building. And so the loss to Ole Miss has a sour taste in everyone's mouth right now. But if we're judging off past experience from what we've seen from this team already coming off a loss, they're going to be ready for the fight in Neyland Stadium on Saturday. Whether they win or lose, couldn't tell you right now, but they're going to be ready for the fight.
Yeah, look, Cortland Guillory is a special kid. He's a special player. Anybody that comes in as a freshman and plays the way that he does, he's different, man. He's different. His mentality is different. if the whole team had his mentality, it would be if John Mateer had his mentality, which is exactly what he had prior to his injury. Parker, Oklahoma may be undefeated right now, like realistically undefeated right now. But that's not how this played out. I asked him last night if he learned, and obviously you just saw that from kind of the Auburn loss and the going up against Cam Coleman. And he said, I watched that just to watch those plays over and over just to keep myself pissed, essentially. And I love that. I love it. Like that's the mentality. Like I'm going to use this to fuel me for every freaking game. I don't care how well I played the weekend before. I'm using that to fuel me so that doesn't happen again. And that is special. That's a different mentality. That's a championship mentality. And you could tell that he was close to saying some things that a freshman probably shouldn't say in those answers about what he felt like he could do against, covering guys, but he didn't. He didn't say any of that. He just said, I'm confident in who I am. I'm going to go out and I'm going to do my job on Saturday and try to get this dub and go home with a W. And that's that. I'm going to do my job and I'm going to do it well. And you have to love that. If you're an Oklahoma fan, you have to love that. If every player had that type of confidence, and I think it's just the defensive side of the ball right now, they're playing with a different type of confidence. The defensive players, and you might agree with this, do they not give different answers, different type of answers than the offensive players right now? Like, do you not feel that? Like, they're brimming with confidence, man. Like, it's not us, guys.
As they should be. I mean, they didn't play great against Ole Miss on Saturday, but when you look at the larger picture, you look at the season as a whole, that defense has played very well. They have reason to be confident. And at all three levels, they have guys that are making plays on a regular basis, guys that have demonstrated that you can lean on them. And so, yeah, that unit, again, sour taste in their collective mouth from the performance against Ole Miss, but they understand how talented they are. Mm-hmm. They understand what their ceiling is. They understand who's calling the plays in Brent Venables. And ultimately what this can do, what a loss like this can do, how this can fuel this team moving forward into this crucial November stretch. So I would expect that Oklahoma's defense comes out Saturday with a little bit more fire than we saw against Ole Miss and their home field, I should say, this past weekend. Also because you're on the road, man, you're going to want to take the fight to the opposition, maybe a little bit more so because you're going to be in a hostile environment in a sea of orange, or I suppose perhaps black on Saturday night, given that the Vols are going with the blackout look at Neyland Stadium. But man, really interested to see how this defense responds tangibly. I know how they're going to respond emotionally, but when it comes to the performance on the gridiron, how to what extent does this defense punch back, I suppose, after a down game last Saturday? We shall see, folks, and we will continue to take you all the way up to kickoff over on OUinsider.com, which is the best place to be for Oklahoma football and recruiting intel. Subscribe to this YouTube channel if you haven't already, but the best way to support us is to subscribe at OUinsider.com. Your first week is just $1. Give us a try. See if you want to stick around. We figure you will, but that's a decision that's up to you. Until then, for Brandon Drum, I am Parker Thune. This has been an OU Insider post-practice blitz. Everybody take it easy.